But we're going to talk a little bit about the bigger landscape of women in business and how we grow our careers. Then we're going to get into a little bit of nuts and bolts. I'm a really practical person, so I will make sure that as you leave today, you will have some very practical nuts and bolts tips that you can put into play as you move forward today and into your careers. And I think we have a really nice mix of our three companies represented here. So I also want you to start thinking about how you can all get to know one another better, which is one of the big reasons why we're here today. So we can all get to grow our networks, get to build those relationships. You're in some very strategic industries in Columbus and in Ohio. So let's see how we can work together to build your careers and build those strategic relationships. Let's take a look at the industry landscape a little bit. Really at no other time in business history have women been more or better positioned to excel in their careers and in the industry at large. There are more women than ever coming out of college with degrees, not just undergraduate degrees, but advanced degrees. I think I saw a statistic somewhere that even in colleges and universities, there are 60% of college undergrads are women. And that's a huge shift over the past several decades. So more and more women coming out of colleges with higher level degrees. We are growing into leadership and corporate positions at a faster rate than we have been. And women are really born to win at the game of business. If any of you follow McKinsey at all, they do quite a few studies on women. And they did a whole series of studies called Women Matter. And there were two really big statistics that came out of that. The first is that companies that have more women at higher level leadership positions are more competitive and they are more sustainable and profitable in the long run. The second fact is that there are about 9 different leadership traits that McKinsey tracks, and I don't remember all of them, but I do know that out of those 9, women naturally tend to have at least 5 of them. So we have a lot of the traits naturally that can help us to grow our careers and be good leaders. Traits like collaboration, like mentoring, like seeing the more human side of business and using that to grow ourselves and grow the people around us. So we have all of these really great things going on in the industry. Statistics support it. So the million-dollar question is, why are we still being passed over for promotions? Why are we not getting into those higher level leaderships at a higher rate, faster rate? There are lots of reasons why, and I'm sure we all have our own opinions. Some of them are external. So if you take a look at some of the facts that are happening externally, women are still paid less on the dollar per men, about 81 cents on the dollar. If you look at board level positions nationally, women hold about 14% of corporate board positions, and in Ohio that number is a little bit smaller. So there are lots of external forces at work, and what I'm going to ask us to do for this morning is to leave those outside the door, and we're going to set aside the external forces, because there are other internal forces at work that can stop us from growing in our careers and growing into those leadership positions. There are certain mindsets and beliefs that we have grown up with that have served us as young girls growing up, coming into high school and college years. But once we get into the business world, many of those same behaviors and mindsets that we hold, that a lot of times we don't even know that we have, can hold us back as we go into our career and into levels of leadership. So that leads me to the book, Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. One of the first things that drew me to the book was the word nice. And I think it's one of the first things that comes to your mind when you see it, probably. And I usually get a question that goes something like this. If I can't be nice in business, what are my options? Right? And I had a long conversation actually with Lois Frankel about this. And here's what she said. Nice is not enough. It is sufficient, but it's not enough. We absolutely have to be nice in business. Who doesn't want to do business with someone that they like and someone that's nice? Nice is sufficient, but it's not enough. It has to be paired with the right behaviors to help us grow in our careers. The really important word in that title is the word girl. It's the word girl. Because we are socialized with certain behaviors and mindsets growing up, our behaviors can tend to be girlish. And what that means is we bring those behaviors into business. And we're going to talk about what some of those are. It won't be a mystery after today. We bring those behaviors into the workforce. So we're going to look at behaviors and assume that nice is what we need to be in business, and we're going to look at the behavioral side. The other part of that title is corner office. And everybody in this room likely has a different viewpoint or dream about what their corner office is. For some of you, it might be getting to that C-suite. It might be going after a stretch assignment. It might be getting some more visibility where you are. So I'd like you to think about what your own definition of corner office is and own that for yourself. And as we are going through our time together today, think about how some behaviors, some mindsets that you hold might be keeping you from your version of the corner office. If you have this pie chart here, and this represents 100%. And this represents your credibility and your visibility. How much of it do you think is attributed to the substance of what you say, the actual substance of your message? Say that again? All of it. What else? Anybody else have another idea?
Did you say what you say or how you say it?
The substance of the message. What's in your message?
25%.
25%? 7%. 7% of your visibility and credibility is based on the substance of what you say. The other 93% is based on how we present ourselves and how we articulate ourselves. In short, how we look, how we sound. Very powerful when you think about first impressions, the way that we organize what's coming out of our mouth, what is being said in a meeting, what's being written in an email. Only 7% is attributed to the substance of the message, and that only happens once they've gotten past the barriers of the other 93%. Okay? So that's your visibility and your credibility. To get credibility, there needs to be a visibility factor. And I want to share something with you very specific that has made a huge difference for me in my willingness and ability to be visible.